Yo, what's good, everybody? What's good, boxing community? Uh, we had a decent amount of fights yesterday and the day before. Ryan Garcia, he stops Fortuna in the sixth round, early in the sixth round, and it was a decent performance by him. I give him that, but the opponent, I don't really give him too much credit. But Ryan Garcia, he looks better right now. Ryan Garcia, he used the jab in this fight, which I really liked it. And the left hook was there all night for him. And he mixed it up a little bit. Ryan Garcia showed some skills last night. What's good, Jared? How you been, man? Uh yeah though. I mean, Ryan Garcia has potential, but his attitude towards the sport of boxing is not really that great. Devin Haney has all the belts right now. So Ryan Garcia is going around promoting that belts don't matter. He's the people's champion. And he repeatedly calls out Tank Davis pretty much in any interview he has. If they ask him about any other fighters, he just don't care. He just hollering out the Tank Davis name. He needs that Tank Davis fight. Uh, and I mean, the fight in the ring is decent. I like it. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know. I just don't really trust for that fight to be made exactly next, you know, because you got the cross promotions, you got De La Hoya, you got Floyd Mayweather, you got actually four people that has to get together and make that fight. You got Oscar and Floyd, and you got DAZN and PBC. Yeah, Garcia a bit underrated as a fighter. I mean, they rank him. They pretty much. If you ask the zone people, they'll tell you he's the best in the division. You know what I'm saying? The people that help promote Ryan Garcia, I think they overrate him as a fighter. I give him credit for this fight because he looked better than I've seen him. I've watched like 10 Ryan Garcia fights. And he was kind of putting it together a little bit in this fight. He was even cutting off the ring a little good at points of time, but he let Fortuna do a lot of floating around. And I'm starting to like that left hook to the body more and more that I keep watching him, man. He dropped Fortuna twice with the left hook to the body, and then he finished him at early in the sixth round with the left hook to the head. And Ryan Garcia defensively, he still skipped straight back in a straight line or whatever, but he didn't get hit with a lot of shots. So yeah, I think Ryan Garcia, he's getting a little better though. He's getting a little better because this is his second fight with his new trainer Joe Goosen. Yeah, he left Eddie Reynoso. You know, they say he even owe Eddie Reynoso money. He been talking shit to the Eddie Reynoso and Canelo. Ryan Garcia know how to keep his fucking name in that media, boy. Like Canelo exposed him and say that he wasn't doing no work. He wasn't working hard in training camp. That's why his development wasn't going as it was supposed to. You know what I'm saying? And then ever since then, that was about 6 months ago. Ryan Garcia, he been having shots to throw at Canelo. He been dissing him as much as he can. Canelo just lost the Bivol. He trolled him on that. And then he had just recently came out and Canelo was like he was a champion at 20. Ryan Garcia ain't shit. And shit, he ripped Canelo. He like, shit, your first title, you beat up Matthew Hatton. I have no Matthew Hatton in my division to take a belt from, which is true. And I see a lot of people out here trying to hype him up and give him credit for saying that. But we also got to point out the fact that he's waiting on a Matthew Hatton to come up with a belt to try to be a champion. And he's 23 years old. You know what I'm saying? Like he talking about, oh, I gotta go through Devin Haney. I gotta go through Tank Davis. Like he makes sure he throw Tank Davis' name in there. Tank Davis is a WBA regular champion at 135. He's not the champion. That's another reason why I don't believe this fight gonna be made. Because in order, like, why the fuck would they put Ryan Garcia in a fight that tough? And he's not even getting a real belt out of it. Oh, yeah, and to be honest, Ryan Garcia, he's not a 135 pounder no more. This fight last night was at 140. And this fight before that against Emmanuel Tago was at 140. You know, but Ryan Garcia, he does look a little huge. He looks huge, man. I can't lie. So I'm not going to say he's undisciplined for not being able to make 35 because he looked like he can't make 135. But yeah, it was a decent performance though. I like what I seen out of Garcia. You know what I'm saying? He got the jab. You know, the hook's always there. I don't think I seen him throw one uppercut all night, but I guess he didn't need to. And his feet, you know what I'm saying? His feet will be a problem against Tank Davis and Devin Haney. You know, that it's probably gonna cost him the fight. You know what I'm saying? Because he will not be able to cut off the ring against those guys. You know what I'm saying? But he has that puncher's chance with that left hand. You know what I'm saying? And Devin Haney do get caught with left hands, in my opinion. The success Jojo Diaz had against him was with the left hand, but Ryan Garcia, he ain't worrying about fighting no Devin Haney no time soon, dog. Ryan Garcia, he gonna live his life. See, motherfucker, like I look in there and I see that stadium was kind of packed. Like Ryan Garcia, like his he always like had the social media followers, but like these past two fights, like the stadiums are starting to fill up. Maybe his Instagram followers are starting to grow up a little bit to understand boxing a little bit, come to the fights. But he's selling tickets, and when I see like packed out stadiums like that while Ryan Garcia's fighting, like I always have that thought in my head. It's like he's never gonna have to fight Devin Haney. Like he's never gonna have to fight Devin Haney or Shakur Stevenson because that's what we have to come to in reality as boxing fans, bro. It's like if a prospect is coming up and he's selling a lot of tickets and he's supposed to be this quote unquote draw, like he's not going to have to fight the top guys, bro. He's not. You feel me? Because Devin Haney, for one, they look at him like they call him a born fighter because he don't get knockouts. And you know, they say he's not a draw or whatever. So they don't want to lose. They don't want to put their fighter in there with somebody like Devin Haney to give him all the clout and make their fighter look bad. You know what I'm saying? Like, and they claim that the fight would be boring and their fighter's going to lose. And Devin Haney would be the only one benefiting out of the whole situation. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's why they wouldn't want to put people like Ryan Garcia or Canelo Alvarez into fights with slick fighters like Devin Haney and Shakur Stevenson. And the same thing with Tank Davis, man. It's the same thing. Like, And that's why they're gonna be able to fight each other, I guess, because I guess they both sell tickets and they don't have to fight the other guys. So I guess they're gonna try to link up and fight each other, but I'm not sure if the promoters will let that shit go through, especially on the DAZN side, man, because Ryan Garcia is, I'm not gonna say heavy, heavy underdog against Tank Davis, but he's an underdog, man. And you like when somebody get knocked the fuck out, like you don't know how that fighter's gonna respond. Like they don't want to risk Ryan Garcia in there getting stretched the fuck out. You know what I'm saying? Because they look at him as like a potential draw, like how Canelo is and how De La Hoya was. So I don't know if they want to put him in a fight that risky. And like seeing that Floyd Mayweather tell us all the time, we're not gonna make another company great. We're not crossing the street. Tank Davis is fighting people here at PBC. And like the willingness of them wanting to make the fight, like their people is seeing something like Tank can go in here and knock this motherfucker out and take all his Instagram followers and we're gone. You know what I'm saying? I don't think the zone really wants that, man. Especially with no belts on the line. And like those two, Tank and Ryan, like they have that attitude of the belts don't matter. The belts, all this and that. It just matter if people want to see you fight. Okay, y'all fight. Now, what if y'all go the rest of y'all careers not really collecting no belts or nothing like that? It's like that Tank knocking out Ryan Garcia, it won't age well, and Tank won't get in the Hall of Fame. You know what I'm saying? It's like you can have that type of mindset that the belts don't matter, but the most of the biggest fights are motherfuckers with belts. You know what I'm saying? Go get that big fight and that big money, and you can drop the belt if you win the fucking belts. You don't have to hold on to that shit. Like, but yeah, though, Ryan Garcia, I see the talent. He has potential, but like it just seems like Ryan Garcia and Tank Davis, like I should pretty much like lower the bar for them because they're money fighters. Like they don't fight for like, oh, I'm finna go get this belt and then I'm on to the next belt. I don't care who has it. Like they're not that type of fighters. You know what I'm saying? So like I think we need to like put them in a different bracket, bro. But like besides like Devin Haney, Shakur Stevenson, shit, even Tiafimo, like, because it feels like those fights are pretty much impossible, man. Like Tank or Ryan to fight Haney or Shakur, like I just don't see that shit happening. I just don't see it happening. But I do see Tank and Ryan happening because the promoters are talking like they want it. So we'll see. We'll see. Because Ryan, that just seems like the only fight that he wants. So we'll see if the promoters can get together and make this happen. But yeah, though, man, on to on to Devin Haney, right? Devin Haney, he was at the fight. They asked him a little question about Ryan. He like, yeah, man, I just got to see a little more. They like, you want to fight him next? Yeah, I'll fight him and all the other top guys. Like Haney not even fucking worrying about Ryan Garcia no more. And he shouldn't because all of the stuff that I just explained, it's like the network, the zone, They're not gonna want him to fight Haney because he sell too many tickets, and they don't want to risk him in that situation. So yeah, Haney he announced that he's returning to the ring in October. But check this out. Now Lomachenko told Top Rank that he want to come back in October. And Devin Haney, and he always reassured the fans that it doesn't have to be Kambosos next. And I know that Bob Arum wants to get Lomachenko a shot at all them belts. And Top Rank makes Devin Haney want to fight Lomachenko because all of the pound for pound lists, Loma is still over Devin Haney, which makes 0 sense. Like Lomachenko still gets all of the fucking hype at 135. If you're talking about Top Rank, and like they doing all that and it's working, Devin Haney wants to fight Loma because they hype him up so much. Like, so Haney has the attitude, why should I go take out I should go take out that guy since y'all think he's better than me and y'all put him over me in all these pound for pound lists. So let me go see what he got going on. Loma, he didn't me personally, I think Loma would fight Devin Haney, man, because Loma is a belt chaser, man. And Loma, he didn't want to fight Devin Haney as Devin Haney was his mandatory. You know what I'm saying? Devin Haney didn't have nothing to offer back then. Now Haney has all of the belts. And I heard Lomachenko say plenty of times he want to be undisputed. You know what I'm saying? And Haney want that smoke because that's the two fights that he said that he really wants. He wants Tank Davis or he wants Lomachenko. You know what I'm saying? And they both announced that they're coming back in October. So that's potential there. Shakur Stevenson say he's finna jump up soon and get in that mix. He finna go up to 135 and he finna jump in that smoke. And that's what I want to see. You feel me? Because Shakur don't duck no smoke. Devin Haney don't duck no smoke. You feel me? There might be a little smoke for Shakur Stevenson at 135, man. And all these fights are on his side of the street. Well, Devin and Loma. You know what I'm saying? So Shakur, he's always a threat. But I always hear that they're not going to make Shakur and Haney this early. You know what I'm saying? In their career. And me personally, like, I'm not into protecting fighters. You know what I'm saying? If Shakur want to move up and get a shot at all the belts in one shot against Devin Haney, me as a Devin Haney fan, you know what I'm saying? I got to respect that. And I know Shakur Stevenson is a major, major, major threat to Devin Haney. Major. I can't lie. Shakur Stevenson is the favorite in that fight with Devin Haney. And the reason that I say that, and I know that this point here, like, it don't have like a lot of, people don't like think about this point that I'm about to say. The reason why that I'm concerned about Devin Haney in a fight with Shakur Stevenson is because I watched that sparring, right? And I know that it's sparring, but I definitely see that fight can play out like that. Devin Haney trying to stalk Shakur Stevenson and cut off the ring on him. Like, Devin Haney didn't look real comfortable in that role. You know what I'm saying? As being the stalker. And Shakur Stevenson, he was keeping him at range and bopping him with the left hand, little bit of jabs. But Devin Haney, he did cut off the ring a couple times on Shakur Stevenson, better than I ever seen anybody do it. So I still think Devin Haney has the best chance at beating Shakur Stevenson, because of his size and athletic ability. Maybe he'll be able to cut off that ring on Shakur better than, anybody ever can. Probably even better than Tank Davis. Because I don't think Shakur is going to come to Devin Haney. You know what I'm saying? I think Haney gonna have to be the puncher in that fight, and I just don't think he's comfortable doing that. While Shakur Stevenson is a masterclass A plus boxer. You know what I'm saying? But if Shakur want that smoke, I'm all for it, man. I'm all for it, man. And that's what Floyd Mayweather said. Oh, Top Rank got Haney and Shakur. You supposed to make them fight. Stop worrying about Tank. But Floyd Mayweather, he protects Tank like that because Tank is like pretty much the only real star that he has on Mayweather promotion. Like Floyd talks and says that if you work with PBC, you work with him. That's not true. Floyd has Mayweather Promotions, who is under PBC. PBC stars are like Errol Spence and Deontay Wilder and them like that. I'm not sure. I don't think they have to go through Floyd Mayweather. I think they're going through Al Heyman. You know what I'm saying? But Tank is Floyd Mayweather's only star. He's gonna be reluctant to put him in there with guys like Haney and Shakur, and that's just the facts, bro. And Tank, yeah, let me talk about Tank. Tank was on the Rise podcast, and he said that was holding back the fights. He said he had a promoter, which means Floyd Mayweather, Al Heyman. You feel me? So now, I don't know, man. You got Floyd and Ellaby saying that Tank is with them forever. And you got Tank and Calvin Ford walking around, saying they not under contract, saying they ain't got no promoter. So what's really going on over there? What's really going on over there? But yeah, though, I like hearing Tank talk like that, though. Like, I'm not sure what his next move gonna be, because Haney is a little tied up. But Gervonta Davis, I truly believe Gervonta Davis could step in and ruin all of Haney's plans and say that you got to fight me next and go to the WBA and mandate that shit. People say he shouldn't do it because it might be a mandatory split, but you fucking Tank and fucking Floyd Mayweather and Devin Haney, Bill Haney, they not acting hard in negotiations. They know you the A side. They willing to work with you. You know what I'm saying? And I think that Tank's best option is to fight Devin Haney at 135. The farther up in weight, that's less of a chance for me that I think that Tank Davis has at beating Devin Haney. Because I will say it again, man. Tank don't have one-punch knockout power at 140. All them one-punch knockouts y'all see, that's 135 and 130. Tank, he has a potential to win 4 belts, 5 belts in one punch, right here at 135. But I don't trust for him to push for that fight at all, man. He don't give a fuck about fighting Devin Haney at all. Devin Haney is the fucking undisputed champion and the boogeyman at the same time. Think about that for a second. Devin Haney is the undisputed champion and the boogeyman at the same time. Tank wants nothing to do with him. Ryan wants nothing to do with him. Tiafimo left the division. Y'all supposed to be the four kings. Haney trying to get the show going. Leonard and them boys, they fought each other at 23, 24 years old. That's why Ray Leonard is as great as he is, man. He beat those guys, and he wasn't even 30 years old yet. All them fights. Man, I don't give a fuck what you think about me, homie. Keep talking that shit. I don't give a fuck about you motherfuckers on YouTube. But yeah, the 140, Josh Taylor. He vacated another belt. You feel me? He vacated, I think it was the WBC this time. But yeah, though, he said he going after Catterall again. I know Josh Taylor, he watching that film on that fight, and he don't, in the public, he say he won. But I know he look at that fight, and he knows what the reality is. So, Josh Taylor, he being a soldier, and he say he want to run that shit back. Catterall get back in there. But shit, Josh Taylor dropping so many belts, it's like you kind of watering down the fight. You feel me? But I got to give him his props if he really going after that smoke, though. That's the fight we want to see you in. Because Catterall supposed to be a fucking tune-up that you supposed to run over, and you supposed to be on the welterweight right now. But we have doubt in that Catterall fight. Now, they ordered Ramirez and Pedraza to fight for his vacant WBC, and they skipped over Regis Prograis. Regis Prograis put out a video voicing his displeasure, and I think that's just because Top Rank got them 140 belts sold up right now, man. I think Regis was like number 3 in the WBC or something like that. You know that they ain't gonna give you that shot. I remember for one of these belts, they say 6 fighters had to go in there and tell them why they deserved the shot. Like, I wouldn't even have showed up to that shit. You think that I'm finna go in the sanctioning body building and get on the knee and beg you motherfuckers for a title shot? Man, fuck y'all. That was the WBA doing that. And 140, Gary Antoine Russell. He stepped back in the ring soon. 15-0, 15 KO. You feel me? He fighting Rancis Bartholomew. Decent fighter. 29 wins, 1 loss. Nice little step-up fight for Gary Antoine Russell. This guy has all the potential in the world to become the king at 140. It's just all about will he get the opportunities? Will he get the opportunities? These last 2 fights been good for his development. Bro, listen, how are we going to put our money up if the fight ain't going to happen, bro? Haney and fucking Tank are fighting no time soon, homie. There ain't no money to put up. There ain't no fight to put no money on, bro. That's what I'm telling you. As long as Tank is with Mayweather, it's not going down. It's not. It feels like Nello getting out of his prime. I mean, it kind of, man, Canelo, he been a pro for like 17, 18 years. And he's like 31, 32 years old. So people look at the age and like, no way he's out of his prime. But I think the miles on Canelo's body, I think he is out of his prime. Slightly. Canelo trains with fucking knee braces on and shit. Like he ain't, I can make an argument that he was fresher for the Floyd Mayweather loss than the fuck this Bivol loss. But nobody gonna agree with that shit. But he kind of was, bro. Canelo had 40 something fights when he fought Floyd. He beat Mosley, Cotto, Trout. Like his resume before Floyd was good, man. After Floyd, after that Lara fight, you know, he started watering down his resume like that. But one thing that I can respect about Canelo is that he's a cash cow and he goes after belts. He goes after belt. Now, I'm gonna keep it real. If you're too dangerous, he's not gonna go after your belt. But at least he collects belts. You know, he collected them belts for undisputed at 168, and Plant. I kind of was interested in that fight. You know, but Stefan, see, look, my only thing is Tank, he's gonna have to fight for a belt sooner or later. He has the regular belt at 135 and 140, but he's gonna have to step in that smoke sooner or later. If Tank is not trying to go through his whole career and go at the end of his career and not be a Hall of Famer. Like you think, like this not he's not really on the Hall of Fame track right now, to be honest, man. He's not. He's gonna have to fight a Devin or a Shakur or a Loma, somebody. All these motherfuckers not finna end their career undefeated. I'll tell you that right now, man. Like, these motherfuckers need to stop worrying about being Floyd Mayweather, dog. Floyd Mayweather was in a fucking different era, man. Like, you know, we trying to see who is the dominant fighter of this era. See, you know what I'm saying? If I was to pick and say that to tell you who I think it will be the best fighter of this era, you know what I'm saying? I would say Boots Ennis, man. I think Boots Ennis will end up the greatest fighter of the 2020s. That's what I think, you know. And he ain't avoiding no fucking body, bro. He'll fight Errol Spence or Terrence Crawford right now for short money. He don't give a fuck. He ain't being protected. The other motherfuckers are being protected from him, you know. I like Tank too, but I just think Haney and Shakur can beat him, and I don't think he wants those fights. That's my only thing, you know. Him and Ryan, that'll be a decent fight, for the fucking undisputed Instagram title. But man, Tank Davis knocking out Ryan, that don't prove a lot for me, man. It just doesn't. It just doesn't. You know. And Tank be having these fucking fans that act like it seemed like every cash cow be having like a set of fans that act like he ain't gotta fight no fucking body. Like they look at everybody like, what the fuck has he done? Like, that shit there gets annoying, man. And the promoters saying the same thing. Like they down talk the Devin Haney fight. I haven't really hear them said anything about Shakur Stevenson fight. That shit not gonna happen. But yeah though, man, Tank's the man in his own right. It's just step up that comp a little bit, bro. That's all I'm saying. He say that he ain't trapped under Mayweather no more. So let's see it. Let's see what fights you choose now. Oh yeah, Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford. You know, people people coming out saying that it's close now. I'm not really sure, but I hold out hope, even though stuff don't be looking good for them. I still hold out hope that the fight gonna happen, man. Because to me, I feel like those guys need each other. You know, every see if nobody don't fight each other, the welterweights got to fight each other, man. Welterweight is like the most historic division in boxing besides heavyweight, man. Like every era, we got to figure out who the best welterweight is, man. Because once you prove that, you just the fucking man. That's why I want to see Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford fight. Because whoever wins that fight gonna be a huge fucking star. And rightfully so. Because they've proven to be the best welterweight of our generation. So that's our guy, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, though, it's positive reports coming out for the fight. And they say the fight liable to be November 1st. Around that time, I'm not going to put no date out there, you know what I'm saying? Because we never know what date it is unless the fight is announced. But it's looking good right now. That's all we need to know. And another reason why I think the fight's going to happen, because Jermell Charlo, right? Jermell Charlo, he just announced his fight with Tim Tszyu. But the fight not happening until January. That shit got me thinking that they're trying to see what happens with Spence and Crawford, like the winner, because Jermell Charlo, he gonna have to fight Bud if Bud beats Spence. And if Spence win, I think Charlo is gonna vacate because Spence, the winner is gonna be moving up to 154, and that's his hometown. I don't know if they're from the same, but they both from Texas, and they both have Derek James. So Jermell Charlo and Errol Spence is not a fight that's likely to happen. But I heard Errol Spence say that if the money right, he'll take that fight. But Jermell, he just don't want to fight Spence. Shit, they fight all the time in training camp. So shit. Trust me, if Tank fight Haney or Shakur, my money will be here. I'll bet. I'll just be happy as fuck the fight get made. Shit. But yeah, though, Jermell, and props to Tim Tszyu too. Cause I thought Tim Tszyu was scared of Jermell Charlo. Cause Jermell was at the press conference before the Castano fight, and Ellie Setback, he was interviewing Tim Tszyu, and then he was like, "Hey man, you want to say hi to Charlo?" He put the camera on Charlo, was walking out the building, and then he turned around. Tim Tszyu was halfway to the fucking car. And like, damn, Tim, where the fuck you going? You know, you know what I'm saying? But Tim Tszyu, he stepped up and he took the fight. Tim Tszyu, he stepped aside for Brian Castano to fight Charlo again. So after the Undisputed, Tim Tszyu right there, they owe him a title shot, and he's taking it. You know what I'm saying? A lot of young prospects like Tim Tszyu, they don't fight the champion like Charlo a lot. You know what I'm saying? They be like, because Tim Tszyu is a draw in Australia. There's a lot of earning potential in Tim Tszyu. So I'm surprised that his team, just put him in there. Put him in there. Fuck that. Let's see what happens. It's for all 4 belts. Fuck the diva shit, bro. You got to get in there and try that shit, bro. Because Tim Tszyu, he ain't no pussy now. Tim Tszyu, he got some hooks. He got a mean right hand. And he's a little durable. He come forward. He one of them nonstop come forward. Maybe he could wear down on Charlo. Maybe. But I think Charlo gonna stretch his ass out. If I was to put a prediction on the fight, Charlo, he's just too much for everybody at 154. And I'm glad that Charlo is taking this route because I don't think he would have got any fights at 160. Like, why would you move up to 160 and be stuck like your brother? You know, Jamal Charlo, he can't get no damn fights. Jamal Charlo, he almost had a fight with Jaime Munguia, but the two networks, they couldn't the two networks couldn't agree on how the fight was getting showed and little stupid stuff that ended that fight. And I feel like that was the own fault. But I'm glad Jamel Charlo, like there's money in 154 for him. Jamel Charlo was flossing a $10 million check after that Castano fight. Tim Tszyu, an upcoming hot prospect. Good money, big money right there, probably. Sebastian Fundora. That's a real amusing fight. That might even be pay-per-view by the time y'all fight. That's money right there. What if Bud beats Spence? That is the biggest available fight Jermell Charlo could get. It's a fight with Terrence Bud Crawford coming off of an Errol Spence win. Can you imagine that shit? Terrence Crawford, he gonna be one of the biggest stars in the sport, and he gonna be moving up to your division looking for you. You can't duck that smoke, and Jermell Charlo is not the type to duck smoke like that. So Jermell Charlo, he's in a great position to have an undisputed reign at 154, and he will get into the Hall of Fame. He's only like a fight or two away from the Hall of Fame, you know? So I'm glad to see Jermell Charlo, being the man and doing his thing, 160, Jamal Charlo, he pulled out his Selecki fight. We don't have no type of news on what he's finna do next. He had that one stank ass belt for the past 3-4 years. That motherfucker haven't even thought about unifying with no damn body. Demetrius Andrade begging people in 2-3 divisions for fights, can't get it. But Jamal, I heard Jamal say out his own mouth, as long as his twin's shining, he feel like he's shining, and he's complacent with the money that he's making. This man literally said that he will fight bums until the Canelo fight comes. Like, I can't fuck with nobody like that, man. Jamal Charlo has the wrong mindset, completely wrong mindset about his career. And he has hella potential. And I think that he shouldn't be saving that belt. I think he should just move up and just jump head first into the smoke at 168. Fuck it. Benavidez. I don't think he should run to Morrell, but he'll get big money for Benavidez. He might as well take that fight. What else do Jamal Charlo got to do? What other big fights are on the table for Jamal Charlo to not fight Benavidez, And to be honest, shit, Charlo might be Benavidez's biggest fight. Shit, y'all think Benavidez calling Charlo out like that for nothing? That's probably the biggest possible fight that he could get, because Canelo not fighting neither one of those two guys. And after a while, y'all got to get tired of fighting, these level guys that y'all fighting. You know what I'm saying? That's not helping you get better. David Benavidez, I don't even think he took a punch from David Lemieux. He knocked the man out in like 2 rounds in a couple seconds. That's not development, But at least Benavidez is saying names and he's fucking trying to, go in a different direction and wait on this fucking Canelo fight. He's calling out Charlo. I thought Morrell had him spooked for a second. He pulled Morrell's card. Morrell's team talking about he not ready to get in there with Benavidez. You know what I'm saying? I don't see what I don't see what smoke Benavidez can get. Why he gonna move up? Bivol or Better Beef? How the fuck is he gonna get those fights? That's why he calls out Jamal Charlo so much, because that's the biggest and realistic fight that he could get. You know, in 168, Canelo Alvarez, he moved up, he tried to fight Bivol and he lost or whatever, but he's still the undisputed champion at 168. So the whole division is pretty much at a standstill. 168 has talent, but the schedule coming up for 168 is pure dog shit. These dudes ain't fighting no fucking body, and they can't fight nobody because Canelo got all of the belts hostage. You know what I'm saying? He ain't gonna fight Morrell. He ain't gonna fight Benavidez. Charlo, what? You gonna move up and not get Canelo? What is Canelo Alvarez plan at 168? You know what I'm saying? Canelo, he fighting Triple G. And you know what? I kind of sort of give Canelo a pass because look, after a loss, especially a star like Canelo, after a loss like that, you can't expect him to fight somebody like Jamal Charlo or Benavidez. Okay, we understand you lost. You know what I'm saying? So Triple G, he's a glorified tune-up. He's a 40-year-old man who he beat once already. And he's moving up to 168 where he's never been at before. Triple G in his last fight, he knocked out Ryota Murata in the 9th round. He looked good late, but he was getting touched up early by Murata. But when Triple G started doubling and tripling up that left hook and then mixing that right hand in there, he got Murata out of there. In the fight with Canelo and Triple G, a little more intriguing because, Canelo just lost. Triple G, looked at in his last fight. Maybe there's a chance Triple G might win, but if Triple G got robbed before, you know what I'm saying? What better can he do now? Like, I don't think that he has much of a chance to knock out Canelo at all. I don't give him a chance to. He let Canelo outbox him in the second fight. So I know if Canelo get hit with something he don't like, he gonna box Triple G and probably go for the stoppage. Yeah, I see Canelo going for the stoppage. There's a lot of pressure on Canelo actually to stop Triple G. But it is what it is though, man. Let Canelo get his little glorified tune-up. And he's giving the guy a shot. Think about this, man. Triple G is getting a shot at undisputed, and he's never even fought at 168, bro. Never even fought at 168, and now he getting a chance at 5 belts in his debut there. You know what I'm saying? Motherfuckers like, Charlo and Benavidez, like them real dangerous ass fighters, they don't get opportunities like that, bro. And Canelo just claimed that Triple G is a shit talker. What the fuck you mean he's talking shit? Demetrius Andrade, I'm sure he's an asshole too. Charlo, he kissed Canelo ass, but these other guys are assholes too. I heard Benavidez daddy say something slick to Canelo too. You should go shut them motherfuckers up too. Talking about the only reason Triple G got the fight because he's talking shit. But Triple G, do he even know English? I never noticed him talking shit. What the fuck? Just say that you need a tune-up after a loss, bro. Sell me that. I understand. Now 175, Better Beef is just a fucking monster. You know, Bob Arum, he don't give a fuck about nobody's legacy but his fucking pockets. He said undisputed for Better Beef and Shakur Stevenson is irrelevant. You know, Better Beef, he got the mandatory with not Marcus Brown, but Anthony Yard. Shakur Stevenson, he got to fight Robson Conceição. And that's not a lot for Shakur to do at 130, but I kind of like this fight with Conceição because Conceição really beat Valdez to me. And like he was supposed to be unifying with Shakur after that fight. But I guess they want that Shakur Valdez for that unification. And they just got back to Conceição on the back end. Like you can get your chance at unified champ after we put on this fight and make our money off of this fight, which is understandable. They tried to get Shakur the Navarrete fight, but I guess it fell through. But Better Beef and Bivol, I want that fight so bad too. That's one of the most, anticipated fights that we really want in the whole boxing community. That's the ultimate puncher versus boxer right there. And they both Russian. But Bob Arum, he don't give a fuck. He say that Bivol, he's on the zone. Nobody cares about the zone. He don't care that he beat Canelo. Nobody still knows him. And Bivol has to come to top rank to get that title shot. And I don't really, see how that's gonna happen. Oh yeah, and Bivol, like Bivol said after the Canelo fight, oh, y'all think I won because of size? I'll move down to 168 and take all his shit. Since y'all think I won because of size. And now Dimitri Bivol, he's looking at a fight with Zurdo Ramirez at the moment. But Eddie Hearn, he's trying to skip Zurdo Ramirez and put Joshua Buatsi in there with Dimitri Bivol, and Dimitri Bivol, he wanted a rematch with Canelo, but Canelo said not at 168, back at 175. And Canelo, he don't want to lose all his goddamn belts. So he want to go up and challenge Bivol for his one belt again. And Bivol might have to fight both of these guys to get the Canelo rematch. Isn't that they done Bivol so fucking dirty for beating on Canelo ass? Bivol didn't even get his fight check. I'm not even sure if he got his shit yet. Like they was holding Bivol money. And now they saying that he can't even fight him again. You got to fight two motherfuckers to get that rematch. DAZN as a company, I feel like they didn't want Canelo to go head first at Bivol for a rematch because it's kind of hard to sell Canelo as a fucking monster when he's coming off of back-to-back losses. So they don't want Canelo Bivol right now. You know what I'm saying? And Canelo, he's the money man in the whole sport. Canelo, he get paid more than the fucking heavyweights. It was a rumor out there that he only got 15 for the Bivol fight. And if that's true, that is a duck. And I'm going to tell you why. Why would you not fight Charlo or Benavidez for 50 plus million to fight Bivol for 15 million? Like, you don't want to fight those guys that bad that you take a $35 million pay cut to fight Bivol, who's just as dangerous. I just don't know what the hell is going on with Canelo Alvarez's head and how the fuck he moves, but it's really stupid. And I hope Triple G can come through and fuck him up in the next fight. I just don't see that shit happening. I think Nello, he's either gonna cruise to a decision or he gonna knock Triple G ass out. Maybe. I don't even think Triple G's been down in his career. I don't know why the fuck everybody is just so sure that Canelo's gonna knock this man out. It'd be hard for me to pick guys to get knocked out who's never even been on the canvas before. But yeah, though, heavyweight, we just waiting on AJ and Usyk, the rematch. You know, I liked that fight. Usyk, he showed that he was the real deal. Usyk showed he was the real deal in that fight. You feel me? He was jabbing the hell out of Joshua. He wasn't doing like a bunch of movement, but he moved around just enough. And he cruised in the end. Usyk won the first 3 rounds. AJ won the second, 4, 5, and 6, and they were like exchanging rounds. Usyk pulled off in the end. And both guys look real focused. Alexander Usyk, he's coming from the war. I don't know when exactly he stepped down. I mean, he stepped back, back to society from the war. But he's back to defend his titles. I thought the heavyweight division was going to be held up. I thought Usyk was going to be over there for like a year or two or something like that. Him and Lomachenko coming back, so that's good for the sport that those guys didn't go home and die in the war. That they can make it out and still do their thing. AJ. Oh yeah, AJ and Robert Garcia. I don't really like it. I think Robert Garcia, that style gets beat a lot. And Robert Garcia, he has no type of heavyweight background. No heavyweight background. So how the fuck you finna get Anthony Joshua in y'all first fight to beat somebody like Usyk? Anthony Joshua is a plus 175 underdog. He's not a huge underdog because that was a real entertaining fight, the first fight, and rightfully so. Yeah, so I'm kind of leaning Usyk. Like, I hope Anthony Joshua do get his belts back. You know what I'm saying? Because that's going to make Fury want to come out of retirement. And, like, I don't know, it's just bigger fights with AJ. Like, Usyk has that stigma on him, like other dangerous fighters. Like, Fury looking at him like, why the hell should I fight you? And I'm finna get way less money to fight you than Anthony Joshua, the fight that the fans been waiting on for years, And Tyson Fury ass, I believe Tyson Fury ass is a crook, and he's banned from America. Can you believe that shit? Nobody talks about that shit. Fury is a fucking gangster, bro. He's fucking banned from America. Like, how the fuck you gonna be the best heavyweight and you can't even come round? Like, and Dan, his homeboy Daniel Kinahan, they got a warrant or whatever, and that's why Fury can't come back. But yeah, Fury, he talked that shit. He must have got drunk one day and went talking about retirement. So everybody think he's retired right now. Fury ain't vacate no goddamn belts. He ain't retired. He just waiting to see who wins, AJ or Usyk. You know what I'm saying? It'll be ironic if like Usyk wins the fight and Fury just vacates the belt afterwards. But that's a great technical matchup that I don't mind watching, But I'd rather want AJ to win because Fury sound like he ain't fucking coming back if Usyk wins. So I have to root for Anthony Joshua. I mean, Usyk win the fight. What is he gonna do? The best thing, most money that'll offer Usyk if he wins the fight again is to fight Deontay Wilder. Oh yeah, and that boy Deontay Wilder is coming back in October. Well, I don't think they said October, but they say he's coming back, and he might fight Robert Helenius, which is decent. I think Wilder gonna take a little minute to get him out of there because Helenius, he's real good with his range. And, he's coming off them two big wins over Kalnaki. Kalnaki was a Polish up and coming heavyweight with a little hype, and Helenius, he put an end to that shit. And when you beat a prospect like that twice, you deserve a big fight. And he's gonna fight Wilder. And he has a chance because he's catching Wilder at his lowest of the lows. Don't miss that fight. But yeah, though, man, I just had to put my little input, talk my little shit as a boxing fan about what's going on in the landscape. I'm just doing me. But yeah, though, I'm gonna be back though, y'all. I'm about to end this stream. Might put out a video or two later. Let's see what happens.